Thank you very much for coming and attending my presentation. My name is Miroslav Dolejsi. I'm the Deputy Managing Director of Solenko. I would like to give you an overview about the presentation. I would like to introduce the company Solenko because we are quite new in the Asian market. Then I will talk about the projects Andasol 1, about its structure, overview, concept, timeline, and about testing. Testing of CSP plants is quite different from other commercial power plants because of the 3 years ramp-up period where the role of EPC contractor with the role of OM contractor overlaps, and the ratio of the responsibility of the EPC contractors or the OM contractors is flowing into the responsibility of EPC contractors, and therefore it is necessary to ensure a very good cooperation between EPC contractor and OM contractor. And finally, I would like to demonstrate this fact on the certificate which we have been given from the owner, from Andasol 1 and Andasol 2. So, Solenko is a recently established company by George Brackman. George Brackman was a co-founder and managing director of Fichtner Solar. Fichtner Solar, you will pronounce it Fichtner Solar, most of you. And when George Brackman sold his shares in this company, he established Solenko, and the management of Fichtner Solar joined him and helped him to build up the company Solenko. Our credo is to be excellent in solar engineering, to be completely independent, only dedicated to the interest of our clients. We are providing services through the project development, project execution, and during the warranty periods, and sometimes during the operation of the projects. Our staff has more than 25 years experience in the solar business. We have been involved in 50 large solar power plants, and we consulted the projects and the value, capex value of 15 billion euros. Thereof, 7 billion euros is under construction or already successful in operation. Our headquarters is in Weiblingen, which is close to the city Stuttgart. I think you know Stuttgart because of the car manufacturers Porsche and Mercedes. But maybe you also know that the first parabolic trough was invented in Stuttgart in 1907, and the first CSP project has been built in Madi, close to Cairo in Egypt, in 2012. But unfortunately this project was not finished because of the beginning of the First World War. And German government has another needs for financing the war, not such a kind of project. We have a local presence in China, India, Egypt, Czech Republic and Canada, and from the 1st July we will have the presence also in Nigeria. So, Andasol is the first commercial and currently largest CSP projects in Europe. It is the first commercial project with molten salt thermal storage, and this year this project has a more than 5 years operational experience. It is important to mention here that this project was operated under the feed-in law, which has been changed over the time of operation. So this plant was operated in flat rate and in premium tariff mode, and that make big challenges for the owner and the operator to ensure the revenue. And gossipings are true that the most publications are about Andasol 1 and Andasol 2, I think not only by the EPC contractors or by the developers, but also by organizations like DLR or NREL. Let me introduce to you the project structure. So the developer was ACS Cobra. ACS Cobra established the project company Andasol 1. Andasol 1 has agreement with the lenders, which you can see here in the bubble, and contracts with the EPC and OM contractors, and definitely the PPA with the grid provider. That was guaranteed by Spanish government. Our role is was in the yellow bubble, where we consulted the lenders, developers, and the project company. A few words about the project overview. The project is located in Spain province Granada. It's a quite very good DNI, which is going to define the departure area of the plant. There was used a Scarlet collector, 150. Transfer fluid was synthetic oil, VP1. Thermal storage was filled with molten salt. Steam turbine was limited up to 50 megawatt according to the royal decree. And water cycle is the conventional one. And the plant was equipped with 2 boilers for HDF heating, powered by liquid natural gas. But during the operation, another boiler was added. This picture I was given by ACS Cobra. I like this picture very much because it's showing many things. From them I would like to mention here that there's a very harsh weather conditions. As you can see, the beautiful mountains in the background of the picture, which is covered by snow. It means that it's freezing in winter, and in summer I have to say to you, it's very hot there. I would like to draw your attention to the empty spaces in the plant, or in the solar field. Because when we were involved in the project development, we were thinking about it, what to do if the EPC contractor is not going to fulfill its contractual obligation, and he needs to add the power from the sun into the system. So therefore we designed their so-called spare loops, empty places, because it is not possible to extend the solar field because of the hydromechanical calculation of the piping, so it has to be found somewhere in the field, which you can see there. Fortunately, it was not necessary to add additional loops because the performance was fulfilled. But these spaces were used for testing other collectors, like for example center collectors. On the left side you can see a corner of another plant, which is the Andasol 2, and between the corner from Andasol 2 and Andasol 1, you can see the common facilities for both plants, like warehouse, workshop, administration building, gates, and so on. In the left down corner is these days the Andasol 3 already successfully in operation. The technical concept is known to all of us, but I would like to point out that we have 3 sources of energy. One of them is the solar field, another one is the energy from the thermal storage, and the last one is the energy from fossil fuel getting to the system through the HDF heaters. And that makes the operation a little bit sensitive, because you have to learn how to shift the energy and how to fulfill the PPA agreement, especially in Spain if you have a premium tariff and you have to deliver the energy in the time when the tariff is the highest. As Stephen already mentioned in his presentation, so during the construction we had also a lot of problems. It was the first project of this kind. So heat exchanger, that was one of these issues. In the heat exchanger, this evaporated feeding water, which spins the steam turbine and run the generator and feeding the grid. Thanks to the environment, for cooling, it was possible to use the water. Use the underground water getting from the wells, because the valley is full of the water, and there was not a problem during the permission to get the water, which will be not the case of Chinese projects. Project timeline, one of the very important issues. I think that Jürgen Kearns get the message yesterday very clearly, that to optimize the LLC is also to optimize the financing of the projects, and the CSP projects are in testing very different from the others, so therefore the testing takes a very long time, which is the 3 years ramp-up period. So you start projects, you construct 2 years, and then 3 years you test it. So for the developers means 5 years consultancy if the plan really performed. So project development is always very long procedure, especially if you are going to do the first kind of the projects. But if the law or the legal environment will settle down, the project development speed up, and the construction started in July 2006. And the Provisional Acceptance Certificate was issued in March 2009. The construction time, according to the EPC contract, was 34 months, which is these days a very long time because all the EPC contractors are able to construct such kind of plant within 24 months. Then the warranty period started, which is here 2 months is longer than is usual. And there the final acceptance certificate was issued, which was in May 2011. So there is a 12 months performance testing which must be fulfilled, which is the 365 days in a row of testing, which must be fulfilled within the 3 years. In the first plan in the world, we reach it 10 months earlier. Before the Provisional Acceptance Certificate was issued, following testing has to be performed successfully, which is the functional tests and overall performance test. So the functional test consists of solar field efficiency test, thermal storage capacity test, and power block efficiency test. And then all the 3 tests was combined in one test called overall test. In this test we tested the power, definitely we measured the DNI, the input, and how much energy was delivered to the power block and how much energy was given back to the solar field. In this case we did not allow any partial testing like subfields or loops testing, which we did in another our projects. Here are the results of the project. So the design value was 100%, 70% was enough to fulfill the guarantees, and for the solar field nearly 77% was reached. It means 7% more than it was necessary to pass this test. Thermal storage capacity test needs some preparation. You have to empty the hot tank and to fill the cold tank. Then we measure the energy from the solar island, I mean the energy which we could yield from the solar field or get through the HDF heaters or to get from the thermal storage, from the HDF heater and to fill the thermal storage. And then we measured the energy which we get out of the thermal storage. And the result shows that 70% was enough to pass the test, and we reached nearly 90%, which means 20% more. That was the biggest concern by the lenders this time, because they did not believe in this thermal storage that it can work, and this test was a very big success that this plan will work. Power block efficiency test is commercial things, so we measure the energy getting from the solar island, from the HDF heater, or from thermal storage HDF or solar field, and then we measured the power at the high voltage transformer and the generator. Results shows that nearly 100% of the value was reached. It was not such a big surprise like with the thermal energy storage. And then the EPC contractor could start with the entire testing. So we measured the DNI, we measured the energy from the fuel which we get into the system, and we measured the power output on the generator. And the result shows that when we combine these 3 sources, we are slightly over the guarantee value, which was 80% of the design value, but it was a big success. Provisional certificate was issued, and final acceptance test could start. We were very unlucky because, as was mentioned already by Bright, also many problems appeared By the way, we had also 4 months is not enough radiations. It was very cloudy, so we had a problem to operate a plant. And we measured every day the performance, and when we reached the 100%, we started the evaluation. I mean the EPC contractor and we as an independent engineer. So the evaluation has been done with the performance model program, which is established before you sign the EPC contract, and this model is filled with the data you agree between the owner and the EPC contractor, and evaluated was the power generation, the high voltage transformer, and parasitic consumptions. The result shows that we reach slightly over 100%. That makes sense because we finished 10 months prior to the deadline given by the EPC contract. So when we calculated that we have 100%, so we started with the evaluation. Good news is also that the parasitic consumption is nearly 100%, so lower than 100%, but does not deviate so much. That is evidence of a very good detailed engineering, that the guys who did the contract, they knew what they calculated, because that has an input into the financial model, and if it deviates 20%, for example, then you have bad financing and influence the LLC. Finally, I would like to point out the necessity of a very good cooperation among the parties involved in the project, because you know the technical side is the key, but if the cooperation does not work and the lawyers are entering the meetings, then the technicians does not have anything to say and the project is over. The first paragraph of the certificate is saying or describing the activities which we provided during this project, which is the project preparation, construction, procurement, commissioning and warranty period. The second paragraph is saying something about the parties involved in the project, starting with the owner, over the lenders and ending with the EPC contractors. And the last paragraph is the message. Because you need to have definitely people with leadership, with extensive management skills, technical know-how, but also these people must cooperate to ensure that the plan will be constructed within the timeline, within the budget, without any delay and without any penalties. And that's what I wish to you who are or will be involved in CSP projects, that you will also finish this project without delay within the budget and without any penalties or delay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention, and for those of you who likes hard copy, I prepare a solid flyer which is lying on my desk, which is right there. You can feel free to take them. Thank you very much.